think all of us as gardeners have shed blood, sweat, and tears in our gardens. I shed some tears yesterday, but then we're given a morning like this, a morning to enjoy the beautiful gardens at the home of John and Charlesy Halliburton in Clarksville, Tennessee. Charlesy, it's great back here this morning, and I know that you like to add color in your gardens in the summertime with the use of some annuals. What are you using?
Well, I use lots of begonias. I use dragonwing begonias and regular begonias. They're all pink. And I use impatiens and caladiums primarily.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of all of those here today, but in this path along here, though, this is where you experience most of the sunshine in your gardens, isn't it?
Yes, no place in my garden do I get more than 2 hours, and right here is 2 hours.
Wow.
The rest is about an hour and a half, and some of it gets very little sun, just dappled sun through the trees.
Well, and I think that's a good example.
I'm a shade gardener.
And sometimes I wish I was. But this right here, the auto-looking laurel, that seems to be very happy
It's
right
very
here.
happy, yes.
And you don't really have to do anything to this.
I trim it and
A little,
yeah,
if
it just
need be.
it does what it does. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, and I can see that you actually have azaleas in here, and then a lot of planting you've done already by putting in the waxwing begonias down here.
Yes, and the sun patience right here where I have the sun.
Right. I love that sun patient, and you know.
Thank you. I love the color.
Yeah, I like the color too, but you know, that's a very substantial plant. Last year was my first experience, and I had some white ones, and they were in full sun. We got a lot of rain, and I actually did nothing with those. So they're my new best friend in the garden.
They're easy.
This is a beautiful hanging basket of petunias, and that really gives you color in the bright
pop of
sun.
color, yeah.
It surely does. And of course, Miss Annabelle over here.
There's my whites.
Well, and you know, that's such a good plant. Every garden should have an Annabelle, and
Well,
you can
they're
tell.
so easy.
Yeah, and you know, you get the eastern morning sun,
Yes.
and you can see she's happy with that. And I see a bird feeder swinging over here. You're a really good bird feeder, aren't you?
I love birds, and we've fed birds for years.
And you also accommodate them with
Bird baths, yes.
too. Okay, and of course, who could turn down a blue mop head hydrangea?
Hydrangeas, yes.
This is beautiful this morning, and
Thank you.
And you know, they've had a little bit of a problem and a struggle this year, but you don't have that problem
Well,
right here.
this particular group of hydrangeas has performed well.
Everyone needs an oak leaf hydrangea.
It's
this
beautiful and fragrant.
And you know, mine is located out in the midst of everything else. I've really never appreciated the fragrance, and as I stand here with you, I can smell that. It's just, I knew that they had all that deposit of pollen and things off of them, but these azaleas, I'm sure, are very happy
Beautiful,
in the spring.
pink and
they're beautiful.
huge, yes.
And then, of course, as we walk down these stairs, they just have that curve to them, and they lead our eyes to what you have as your bird bath garden.
Yes.
No one can deny what a beautiful plant the astilbe is.
It's lovely, feathery and fragrant.
Yes, and that's the main thing. And you know, unlike some perennials, this keeps good foliage all summer.
It does.
It doesn't turn brown, or I don't even know if anything will eat on it. And then over here, there's a good example of the Christmas fern, and that's just so beautiful. And you harvested those from right behind us,
From our
didn't you?
woods, yes.
Yeah, and you didn't go get them somewhere else.
We live in the woods and we harvested from our woods.
That's a good thing. And who can deny that beautiful piece of a bird bath right there?
We've had that for years.
I know it, and you know what? You're creating something that your children will want to say, my mom had this in my garden for all those years, and it stands there to represent the way you love your birds too, doesn't it?
Right, it does.
And then again, where's the more astilbe, but then you've planted a nice first thing to bloom in the spring.
Right.
Your-
It's tulip magnolia.
Yes, and this one is what color?
Pink.
Pink.
It's dark pink, beautiful pink.
Yes, you know, I have a yellow one.
Yellow.
Yeah, you probably should put an anchor over here and plant you a yellow one. This area is just beautiful, but I believe that you've overcome a large challenge in here.
Well, our original challenge was in 1994 with the ice storm, and it took out trees. This used to be woods. It took out trees, and from that came the beauty of a garden. My husband built terraced walls here so that we could terrace our garden down, and we live on a slope, so that worked for us, and we've been working on that since 1994.
To come out and build rock wall is not an easy thing.
It's not. It takes time, and he loved it back then, and we had other helpers with it since then, but it's been beautiful.
So in this area now that you're almost full shade, you've incorporated what kind of plants?
Well, hydrangeas primarily, and again astilbe and caladiums, lots of hostas. Hostas love the shade. Ferns, these are Christmas ferns.
And I'm just looking
I
at
know.
all of the Christmas fern. That's the beauty of naturalizing a garden that is natural. You know, it's not I planted all these things in a row. It has sporadically found happy places in the garden.
Happy place, that's a good word.
And it's just amazing what you've accomplished here. I can see what has been, and I can see what is now, and I know what's yet to come in your garden, because we can't see it all in one day.
Right.
And your caladiums, I know, are about to pop through in all their glory, but you know, I also know and appreciate how much time and effort that you put in this garden. Yes, it does benefit us, doesn't it?
Well, it's a joy.
Yeah, and the fact that you're willing to share it with other people, that makes it a labor of love too, doesn't it?
I love that.
Yeah, and just thinking that how you can go into your home and see all of this, and I thank you and I thank Johnny.
I love gardening. I'm passionate about gardening, and that's evident, I hope. And I love beautiful things, and I love pastel colors, and hopefully you can see all that with what I've got in the garden.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.